All right, welcome, guys. This is Breakfast with the Brand, the number one podcast in the world for entrepreneurs and leaders who want to go from bland to industry leading brand. If you are tuned in live, go ahead and put your flames in the comments. We have a phenomenal show for you as usual today, and I am joined by the king of branding, Mr. Shaan Rais. Let's get into it.
Come on, let's go, let's go, let's get into it. Let's get into. You guys have been holding it down pretty good while I've been gone, man.
I don't know, so
Yeah.
I'll let the audience do the decision. Yeah,
Okay.
but I
Okay.
think we've been all right. We've been all right.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Real good. Real good. Real good. I've been traveling a lot, guys. Listen, like I always say, get your mind right. Get your mind right on the traveling piece. Like if you're not, I always say that health is wealth, right? I always say health is wealth. If you're not healthy, you'll never get wealthy. It doesn't make a difference how much money you make, right? So wealth is not you won't be enriched. Trust me when I tell you you will not be enriched because of all of the travel that your schedule will demand, it will incapacitate you. It will literally incapacitate you and you can have some you can have a phenomenal life or you can have a lackluster existence, guys. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. If your health isn't right. So watch this, Junior. We've been in three three different states in the last week, and we're flying out on a red eye tonight, right? So, and we're gonna be there for maybe 2 or 3 days, and then back and forth and back and forth. This happens every year, guys, all the time. So you really, really, really have to get your health right. Get your health right. Get your mind right.
100%. I want to send a quick shout out to Travis. Travis the critic. I see
Ah,
Shade,
East Coast. Let's
East
go. New
Coast.
York is in the building.
Yes,
East
yes.
Coast is in the building.
Yvette. Phenomenal morning, Yvette.
Phenomenal
Sean,
morning.
we had a really good show yesterday, man. We had a really good show yesterday. We spoke about basically marketing, a little bit of marketing. Today
Mhm.
is Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, right? So today we're actually talking about speaking, right?
Ha
If
ha
I'm not
ha
mistaken.
ha ha. Is it speaking of the sales?
Nah, it's actually speaking. So Friday is sales. Today is
Okay,
speaking.
okay, good stuff, good stuff.
That's
See, I've
right.
been going so long, guys. I missed you guys, man. I've been going so long. It's like I got to catch up. I got to catch up. So phenomenal speaking. Actually, it's a beautiful thing because I was speaking, right? I was speaking at the GC Grant Cardone event and collaboration, guys. Collaboration, cooperative initiative, and collaboration. Everybody would think, the first thing they think of when they think of two people who have a brand is competition. Uh-oh, competition is a problem, right? It's a problem. People don't get along, right? I want you to understand that nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. Hosted, treated like royalty. Let me explain something. There is plenty of room at the top. Let that be the first note that you take. A lot of people say that there's no room at the top. There's plenty of room at the top. Next piece. You are welcome there. You are welcome there. Nobody's trying to hold you away from your own success except yourself. The only one that's stopping you is yourself. No one's working against you. There is no conspiracy. The only thing stopping you from sitting in first class is you're buying low class tickets.
Mm. Sean, lean into that a little bit. What exactly do you mean by that?
You go Greyhound, man. They choose to go Greyhound. They choose. It's a choice. You choose to go Greyhound. You choose to get the seats in the back. You choose to get the seats in the nosebleed section, right? You choose not to play the game to the highest degree possible. You want to become the closest to the sun as possible, the closest to the energy, the closest to the power. If you're not close to the power, if you're not heated, if you're not staying hot, if you're not tapping in, if you're not coming to the calls, if you're not paying attention, then it's cold for you. You're the ninth planet from the sun, or you're that far removed. So it's cold for you. It's hard for me. Business is hard. Money is hard. Clients are hard. That's going to be your story as long as you stay the ninth rock from the sun. You got to get closer and closer and closer to where the heat is. You want a phenomenal experience on a flight? Come to first class. There's seats. You just have to buy them. They're not on sale. Everybody looking for the discount, and they look for the discount on what they have to put out, but nobody wants the discount on what they take in. Nobody wants the discount. So we got Real Ish for Life on IG. IG, what's good? Real Ish for Life, phenomenal brother. So just an example, right? Everybody wants the washboard abs, but nobody wants to put the work in. Nobody wants to put the work in. And then when it comes beach time, nobody wants to take their shirt off. They want to buy it through a pill. There's so many pharmaceutical sales right now, but gym membership is low, or gym attendance is low, because everybody wants to succeed by default. What do I mean by that? Everybody wants to succeed by default. So you don't know how many people come into a program that we have, or a challenge that we have, or become a client of ours and turn around and say, I've been through 6, 7 courses. I've had 10 and 11 coaches, and none of it has worked. And I have to be honest, like, let me say it this way. You can fly Delta. You can fly American. You can fly Spirit. You can fly some other no-frills plane that I don't even know the name of. And they're all going to Myrtle Beach. They all going to Miami. They all going to California. You know what? They all get there. Now, they all might not have the phenomenal experience that Delta may have, but they all get there. The problem is you miss the flight. You pay for the ticket and miss the flight. You pay for the membership. You don't show up. You pay for the coaching. You don't show up. You pay for the course, but you don't take it. You get the logins, and that's where it stops. Right? Or you get on the plane and you're next to the toilet and you wonder why you have a bad experience. That has nothing to do with the plane, the company, the pilots. It has everything to do with you. Everything to do with you. You don't understand. When you start buying first class tickets, you'll enjoy the ride that much better. When you start flying, when you start choosing to go the fast route, when you start showing up to the calls, when you start sitting in the front row, when you start actually being on camera and ready and engaged and activate everything that you hear after the call, that's when you get the results. This is not participation success. This is called application and execution success.
Guys, I hope you wrote that down. Listen, we're actually due for a short break. When we come back, we'll be getting more into speaking. Stay tuned.
It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just a very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are, so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. I said Shaan Rais. I'm proud. That's Shaan Rais. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line what I could sell. Why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes. Real Rich for Life just said presence is essence on IG. Yeah, presence is essence. You got to show up, man. You got to show up. The only excuse is you.
Sean, there's a saying.
Yeah.
There's a saying that goes, the best ability is availability.
Come on, man.
The best ability is availability. And that's so true.
Yeah, it's how you show up, man. Think about the energy, right? So I can remember on multiple jobs, multiple situations where, you say phenomenal morning. Early in the morning, people coming in, you like phenomenal morning. They like, what's so phenomenal about it? Like, oh, how you feel? I'm present. I'm here.
Yeah.
Like Eeyore on Winnie the Pooh. Like, wah, wah, wah. It's lackluster. It's lackluster. And people think they're going to have a rich experience when they lackadaisically inclined or lackadaisically present. Right? So I love what Ish said. Present. Let's talk about it.
100%. So Sean, let's talk about your experience, in fact, because you were, I saw pictures of you grabbing the mic. So guys, if you go to Sean's profile, just Google, not Google, sorry, just go to Facebook, type in Shaan Rais on Facebook. I saw a picture with you there holding the mic. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, number one, who was a gentleman there? Because he seems to be somebody that is quite important in the speaking space. What was the interaction about?
That was Pat Quinn. So Pat Quinn has written signature speeches for all of the greats that right? So the Damon Johns, the Tony Robbinses, the Grant Cardones. He's a writer. He's a writer. So he's written signature scripts and signature speeches for a lot of the phenomenal speakers in the speaking space.
Right. And what was the interaction about? Can you tell us more about that? Were you giving a speech like?
Oh yeah. When I come, it's always to speak. It's always to speak, and to be graciously hosted by the likes of phenomenal individuals who want to change the world. So Pete Vargas is one of them, right? So Pete Vargas hosts stages with Pat Quinn, and anytime that I come, I'm always blessed with the opportunity to grace the stage and give the people a little bit of a different perspective, right? Because there's usually no one from my background there. I have a very distinguishing background. And this is the thing, guys. If you don't have a brand, nobody knows you. Nobody knows you. And if they don't know you, then like Grant says, they can't flow you. So you got to be present. You got to be present. You got to get out of your own way, and you got to purchase the right seats. You got to purchase the right seats. So what do I mean by that? Everything costs, guys. Everything costs. There's a price tag attached to every seat. You say, well, if I'm just a good person, then they'll put me in first class. That'll never happen. That'll never happen. Well, if I'm just a good person, well, if I just eat my vegetables, right? That'll never happen. That it'll never happen. So you got to pay for the right seats. You got to be in the right space. We live in a country where everything is possible. Education is possible. Occupation is possible. And there's some people that you're always going to find your peanut gallery. Let me say that. You're always going to find your peanut gallery, and there will be an opportunity for you to take pot shots at every single thing. For instance, the price of gas, the price of eggs. The only reason why people complain about the price of eggs is because they haven't prepared themselves to be financially well off. I don't notice the egg price. I don't notice the gasoline price. Right. And, people say, well, Shaan, you're blessed. Well, something that's interesting about that? I am. And I accept that completely. Well, other people will say, Shaan, you're lucky. Right. I am. I would say that. Yes. But watch this. The harder I work, the luckier I get. The harder I work, the luckier I get. Was I lucky this morning when I got up at 3:00? Because some people would say, oh, that's a bad morning. That's not lucky. You woke up at 3:00. That's a problem. No, it's not. It's an opportunity. And you have the same opportunity. It was 3:00 for everybody this morning. What were you doing? That's the only variable. The variable is what were you doing at 3:00? So the same thing with the microphone. What will you do when given the microphone? Will you crush it? Will you seize the opportunity? Or will you not know what to do with it because you're not prepared? Remember, success is where preparation meets opportunity. The opportunity is always here. The problem is you're not prepared. You
100%.
understand? The problem is you're not prepared. You're not prepared. You're not prepared. You're not prepared. If we was to grab somebody from the stage right now or from the looking audience, who would be ready to officially speak and present and give their best performance? That's the question. Who's ready?
I wanna send a quick shout out to Gina. So Gina says correct. She also says something else. She says, and I guess there's a little typo there, but basically she says you can row the best, but if your boat is sinking, and I guess you just have to infer the rest, right?
Yeah,
So saying buy the best boat, folks. Warren Buffett told me that 100%.
you
In
gotta
fact, in fact,
yes.
if I could speak a little bit to that, I think it was actually Warren Buffett that said this. He said that it doesn't matter, like just like you were saying, Sean, you could be going to Miami on the same airline, but you have to get in the right boat. You have to get in the right boat. So a lot of people that achieve wealth, like we all have 24 hours a day, right? We all have a limited number of time, limited number of hours for the day. So we have to get inside of the right boat to build wealth. And I just wanted to tap into that based on what Gina was saying. Now, Sean,
Yes.
let's talk about a signature speech. Since we're talking about speaking, number one, let's define like what is a signature speech. So for the people looking who don't know what a signature speech is, who are not yet professional speakers, what really and truly is a signature speech?
It's the one speech that introduces you to an audience that doesn't know you. And this is the key, it converts. It converts. So we taught this in Speaking Like a Leader. We taught your origin brand story in Speaking Like a Leader. We just put the link up to it, right? Guys, there's a reason why every time I'm in the room, I'm given the microphone. There's a reason why I'm paid to travel. There's a reason why I'm paid to speak. Everybody who speaks has that one story. That one story that just crushes it every time. I'm always drawn to Les Brown and how he was born on the floor of an abandoned building with his twin brother and then his mother, she was a single parent. She was ill prepared for children, and she took him and his brother to his now infamous Mama Mamie Brown and told her not to separate the two. That's an origin brand story. That's a core origin story. When Eric Thomas talks about being 16 years old and discovering, right, one of his aunts told him that his father wasn't his father, and he was like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" And he went to his mother, and he was distraught when she revealed to him that the assumption was correct. It wasn't her sister's place to tell her son, but she did. And when she was confronted by Eric at a certain age, she revealed to him that that was correct, and his father, who was present, wasn't his biological father, and it crushed Eric, and he became distrustful, a little disrespectful, very unhumble. He left the house, right? This is a core story. He ran into Dee Dee. Dee Dee changed his life. Dee Dee told him that, he said that she used to sneak him in the house so he could sleep at night. He was homeless. She said he used to give him money out the window so he could eat. It's a true story, but it's still a signature origin story. And this is the story that helped him to create from the experience when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe. Because Dee Dee was going to college. Now, he was a dropout. Dee Dee was going to college, and Dee Dee told him, "Listen, kid, I like you, but I got a future. Like you, love you, been taking care of you." She used to give him his allowance. She used to give him her allowance money so he could take a shower and buy food to eat. And when she said, "I'm going to go to college and you got a choice," that was a pivotal point. That was a pivotal point in his life. That was the pivotal point, and he made a decision. That shows you that he overcame something. So people who want to overcome something, you jump on that boat. It's evidence of overcoming. For Les Brown, it was when he was two times. It was when he was labeled mentally uneducatable or something like that. And he couldn't, they were told he was the dumb twin. And he said, "Yes, that's right. I'm the dumb twin." And his teacher told him, "You don't believe that. You don't believe what anybody else says." He had a crew in the road, and he made a choice. He made a choice. The other one was when he was looking to DJ as a DJ in the radio station, and he was told over and over and over and over and over and over again that they were not hiring, and he could not get the success, and he kept returning. He kept coming back. He kept coming back, and he kept coming. He said, "Oh, I didn't know. I thought somebody might have died. I thought that today might be my day." And they said, "No, get out of here, kid. Like, nobody's hiring. I done told you that." And he kept showing up every single day. There was a crew in the row. He could have said, "Okay, they're not hiring," and go home. Or he could have kept coming, which he did, right? Which helped him win the seat because he was a senator, right? Which helped him to become one of the number one motivational speakers in the world. Tony Robbins his mother was, now just pay attention, guys. Pay attention to the patterns. Pay attention to the patterns. Tony Robbins was a child who lived in a small home. He said, "My home is like we don't even have closets the size of what my house was." When my mother was going from man to man to man to man, he said, "I grew up with 6 fathers." He said, "I grew up, by the time I was 12, 16, I had experienced 6 fathers in the house." Same story, guys. Destitution, struggle, disbelief, dishonor, beaten down by my mother. She used to use drugs, use alcohol, very disrespectful. Instead of becoming a drug addict himself, instead of drinking the drug in himself, instead of saying, "Woe is me" himself, he said that I became the protector. I became a psychologist because I had to manage her emotions. And then I became a protector for my brothers and sisters. Right? So watch this. The story goes, one Thanksgiving, they were out of food, and they were on like the 5th father or the 6th father. And the guy came and knocked on the door and said, "Hey," his father went to the door. Matter of fact, he went to the door, opened the door, and the man was standing there with food. He said, we brought this for Thanksgiving. And Tony was super happy because they were broke. They didn't have any food for Thanksgiving. So he told his father to come to the door. His father comes to the door. Who is it? What do you want? Real gruff and real aggressive and abrasive. And the guy humbly said, sir, I don't mean any disrespect. I don't mean to harm anybody's feelings or anything, but we've been notified that you were going through a hard time, and we put together a phenomenal meal for you for Thanksgiving. Guy said, we don't accept charity. Get that out of here. His feelings were hurt. He was prideful. He said, get that out of here. He said, no. Listen, sir, understand that this is not disrespectful, but we, in the community, we noticed that some things were going on, and we put some food together so you and your family could enjoy a Thanksgiving. And he kept trying to deny it. He actually tried to close the door on the gentleman. As Tony tells the story, he tried to shut the door hard, and the gentleman put his foot in the door and then kind of put his shoulder in the door and said, listen, sir, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but you have children here. You have children here, and it is the desire of the neighborhood to see that you are fed and that you enjoy a phenomenal Thanksgiving. Tony said that was where it clicked for him. He said it destroyed the event, it destroyed the situation, but that's where it clicked for him that feeding people was possible and that people do care about people. Tony went on from that situation to feed more than 1 billion. I think he's on the track to feed more than 1 billion people. Not just become a speaker, not just become the powerhouse and catalyst that he is, but go on to feed people. It's one of his higher missions. Shaan Rais grew up in Harlem, late 80s, early 90s. You don't have to be a historian to know what took place during that time. Some people say it was the war on drugs. We felt like it was the war on us. Most of the people that I grew up with are not present. If they're not present, if they're present physically, they're not in the best situation, right? And I was hard-headed, and I was conditioned to behave and think and act in a certain way. I want you to think about the patterns. What are the patterns in these stories? What are the patterns in these situations? You guys have these situations. You have these stories. You have these experiences. And what a signature story does is it kind of brings it out for you. What Speaking Like a Leader does is it brings out that core story, and it gives you a way to tell it in a way that you're never threatened with missing your lines. You're never threatened with missing your lines, right? So I consistently beat my head against the wall, crashed the car all the time, always said that I believed, but I never allowed. And God knew that I was really, really one of those hard cases where a man couldn't tell me anything. So he sent me my wife. He sent me the message in the form of a female messenger who is my wife now. And because she didn't come at me aggressively, and because she was humble, and because she was beautiful, and because we fell in love, I listened. She wasn't saying something different, but I couldn't hear it before her. When she said it in that love language, I was struck in awe. And there was a time when I was speaking to her, telling her how I'm going to, I'm from the Harlem town. I'm from H town, and we do things a certain kind of way, and this is what it's going to be. And I call myself laying down the law, but I had an out of body experience, and I'm looking at myself say the same words that I had said over and over and over again to different people right before a huge car crash, right before a huge life situation where nothing turns out good. And I looked at myself and I said, are you going to do the same thing again? Are you going to write the same book again? Like, you know how this book ends. And it was then that I realized that I always said I believe, but I never allowed. And instead of saying those words, I found myself saying the words that if you trust me, I'll try. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know where we're going to go. I don't know what the other side look like. I have no clue whatsoever. Ever. I have no clue what happens over here. But if you trust me and you say you trust me, then I'll try. And I got out of the driver's seat, sat in the passenger seat. And it was a little while after that I got a text message and an email about a scholarship to go to college. And for those of you who know, I've got 3 master's degrees now, and I'm in 2 doctorates, 2 books, multiple 7 figures in less than 3 years, multiple 6 figures in less than 90 days, organically, during the worst time in economic history. This is a signature story. A signature story is the truth told in a way that makes sense, identifies your ideal client, compels them to come, and repels your unideal client, and converts. It resonates with who it's supposed to resonate with, and it converts those who want to make more out of their life. That's a signature story. I know it was a little bit long-winded.
Guys, we're going to go to a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
You know, there's nothing that you cannot overcome in this world except that which you refuse to fight. When I say brand, when I say brand and authenticity and being the brand, you gotta know your story. You gotta know your story, you gotta own your story, and you gotta be the champion of your story. It's very important that we control our narrative. It's very important that we don't allow anyone else to control our narrative, because when they control our narrative, they control our freedom. They control our freedom and our future. I don't just want it for me, I want it for everybody. It can happen, and it can happen for you, especially when you get branded like a leader. The reason why I did this and what I do is help leaders to become brands and brand themselves. You train people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. I teach authenticity marketing. If people can take advantage of you, they will in your personal or professional existence.
My biggest takeaway just from day one is you are the brand. I would recommend it to anybody that's really looking to build a personal brand.
Just the brand in general has changed my life. I've grown so much since I've been a part of this.
I see myself in what he does, and I believe in it just as much as I believe in myself.
Talk about that. So listen, I got 5D Universal 5950 on IG, right? And he says I was molested by a family member that didn't live with me. I had a capital murder charge and robbery. He said 10 weed cases. Been gang stalked and gaslit a whole lot, and continue to choose love and have compassion and not give up. He says, love you, bro. Love you too, man. Let's go. Right? So listen, man, these are the stories that are able to change lives. You have a story inside of you. You have a reality inside of you that is able to change lives. It's the same thing as the first class ticket. Instead of taking the hit, instead of making the sacrifice and sitting in first class, you choose to sit in the back. You choose not to tell your story. You choose to hide. You choose to pull the covers over your head. You choose to keep it to yourself. That's the same thing that's killing you on the inside. Don't you know that? Like, that's the dis-ease. When you don't feel comfortable, it's because you got something locked up in your chest that's just festering and desires to get out.
So true.
Yeah, and if you let it out, not only would you feel relief, Not only would you feel relief, but you would get paid. Because that's what makes you different. When people talk about business and differentiation, it's your origin core story that makes you different. Everything else is the same. You speak, so what? You're a coach, so what? You got a master's degree, so what? Everybody else does too. Good luck. Join the crowd. Jump in the frenzy. But when you tell your story, when you tell what happened to you and how you see it and how you perceive it and the thoughts that you thought and the things that you did, and the place where you are now, that's the transformational process. Everything else is transactional.
That's right, Sean. In fact, you know, there's actually another saying: if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will bring you life. And if you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will bring you, let's say, the opposite.
Woo!
Let me say that again. Let me say that again. And
Yeah,
write
go
this down.
ahead. I am Devin Rodriguez. What's good, brother? I see you on IG. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
So it goes like this: if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will bring you life. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth, in other words, not putting it out, will bring you the, let's say, the opposite of life.
That's right. That's it. That's it. You gotta be serious, man. And you gotta speak it. Uh, it'll bring you death, right? It'll bring you death. It'll bring you dis-ease. It'll bring you disharmony. It'll bring you uncertainty. It'll bring you anxiety. It'll bring you high blood pressure. It'll bring you hypertension. It'll bring you stress. It'll bring you anger and hostility. It'll bring you resentment. So a lot of you guys, you watch other people succeed and you're like, you grit your teeth. And it's not because we're successful. It's because you refuse to be successful. I want to say that one more time for the people in the back, down the block, and around the corner. The reason why you see other people living their best life and being successful, and you feel something other than extreme peace and extreme presence and extreme happiness and joy for someone else's success, is because you have a gaping hole where your success should be. When someone else tells their story and lives their best life and gets on a private plane or gets in first class and flies out and enjoys the best of the best things, and you're not, it's not because you're a bad person, but it's because you make bad choices. And one of those bad choices that you make is to withhold that which is within. Like Junior just talked about, you don't make a deposit in the universal bank account so that the universal bank account can give you an ongoing withdrawal. You hoard, you stow, you're selfish. Instead of being selfless, you're selfish. And you withhold your story in the best interest of you and saving face. Come on, man. It's being withheld in the place you think is safe to save face. You're choosing to save face instead of saving lives. You're choosing to save face instead of saving lives. You're choosing to save money instead of investing money in blessing other people. When I see people on stage, I don't say, why I'm not there. Oh my God, it should be me. I should be on every stage. No, I don't think that way. I control the stage that I'm on, and I'm brought by other people to the stages that they are on. Stop saving face. Start saving lives.
That sounds like something you might want to put on a sign. Stop saving face, start saving lives.
You selfish, man. You selfish. You self-centered. You only concerned with how you gonna look. You worried about how you looking and not about how you cooking.
All right, Sean. Let's lean a little bit deeper into the signature story, right? Let's talk about and believe it or not, we have to go to a quick break in 2 minutes. Feels like the time is flying.
It
But let's
always
talk about. Oh yeah, it always does. Let's talk about like how does somebody get started? I know most people looking at this, they might be thinking, well, I have a couple stories. I'm not sure exactly if I want to tell those stories, you know.
yeah.
It takes a lot of courage. So for somebody who is looking at this, who knows that they have a story inside of them, but they may not be at that point where they're ready to let that story go, what would you say?
I would say go to ShaanRaisEast.com. I would say go to ShaanRaisEast.com and go to Speaking Like a Leader under programs. I'm gonna put it in the chat so you can stop playing games. Right? I'm gonna put it right in the chat so you can stop playing games. Like stop playing games. Stop waiting. The world is not waiting. The world is not waiting. Come on. The world is not waiting. The next situation is not waiting. That's just like the last situation didn't wait. Just like the situation before that didn't wait. Come on, you think baby's gonna stop being born because you got a problem with self-disclosure? You think babies ain't gonna stop being born because you're trying to get your stuff together? Do you understand? The world isn't gonna stop because you got an issue with telling your story. It's gonna go on, and you know what's gonna happen? Somebody who's not selfish going to eat your food. Somebody who's not selfish going to take your flight. I'm leaving tonight on a red eye. I'm leaving tonight on a red eye to go do the same thing. Who knows? Maybe that could be your flight. Maybe that could be your stage. Maybe that could be your mic. But it's not. Because you're not taking the steps you need to take to bring that story out of you. You save a face. You're like, nah, I'm good where I'm at. Money don't make me happy. Money don't bring me happiness. I'm okay. I don't need the lights. I don't need the stage. It's not about you. It's not about you. Well, money don't make me happy, but your story can save someone else's life. It's not about you. You got it all twisted. You think it's about, so you thought it was about your success. So watch this. So you're comfortable being broke. You're comfortable being broke, and you're using that settlement as a reason why you're not helping other people. So other people suffer in real life because you want to suffer in silence. Well, I don't need to fly in first class. I don't need to go. I don't need to speak. I don't need the mic. I don't need the lights. I don't need the fame. I don't need the stage. Okay, but who needs your story? Again, it's not about you. Stop thinking about yourself. Stop being so selfish. It's not about you. Who thought it? Who made you think? Who made you think you were so important that everything revolved around you? You are not the sun, and it is not about you. We are put on this planet to help other people, and the only way we help other people is through communication. There are deaf people helping people through sign language more than you helping people with your mouth. You said we got 2 minutes, right? Let's go ahead and go to a break.
was really drawn to Shaan's personality from the moment that I did the Branding Like a Leader challenge. This was the free challenge that he offered. And I'm so glad that he offered it because I joined the class and I was blown away. First of all, by his giving personality. For me, it was the personality that really drew me in. But then as he was sharing his wealth of knowledge, I realized that there was so much that I didn't know. I already knew there was a lot I didn't know, but there was so much that I didn't know. And he was just freely giving this information. It was evident that he really wanted to help people. And as somebody who likes to help people, that I connected with that. And then I was able to connect not only with Shaan, but then with his team, with Junior and with Jason, Mr. B, and just the entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond. One day, something had come up and Junior he texted me just to see how I was doing. And that really touched my heart. So that relational piece is there. So if you were having any doubts about what Mr. Shaan Rais and his team with the brand can offer you, let me let you know. It is a treat and it is a joy, and you will not be disappointed.
All right, guys, we are back. If you've enjoyed the show so far, go ahead and put some flames in the comments. Shaan, so many takeaways. My number one takeaway for today was, you have to put out the story. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's for somebody else. I want to take a few of these comments, right? Let's see. So Shade says, oh, it's not this one. Okay, so you level people up and you have to constantly level up. Okay. You have some words of encouragement there, some flames. All right. Guys, I'm going to put up for those of you who might be interested in getting the Speaking Like a Leader program, you can go to this website, ShaanRiceShop.com // cart, and just check it out, see what is there. So Shaan, we only have like 10 minutes left, man. Is there anything else that you'd like to say with regards to stories?
Stories save lives. Stories save lives, man. If you got a job right now, you got the job you have because you heard a story. Oh my God, man. If you got children, if you have children, you have children because you heard a story. Right now, you're living a story. You're living a story. We get to write the next page of the story. Oh my God, we get to write the next page. Guys, you're writing a book right now. You are a part of a story. This is the problem. Most of you are participants in somebody else's story. You're not narrators and you're not authors and you're not speakers. You are bystanders. Somebody else is talking about you. You're a part of their story, but you're not doing your job. You're not taking an active role. You're not taking the mic in your own life. So people are describing you and talking about you as opposed to you speaking for yourself. Right now, you're a part of somebody's story. You're a part of somebody's story right now. The only question is, are you writing the story? Are you taking an active part? Are you a participant? Oh man, listen, watch I got a post. I got a post on Facebook coming at 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. Pay attention to my page at 12:15. 12:15 today p.m. Watch when you see it. Watch when you see it. Let me just give you a hint. You're not taking an active part speaking or writing. You're not taking an active part speaking your story using the microphone or the pen. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. You're a bystander in someone else's story. Instead of being an active participant in life, you on the passenger side, letting somebody else dictate where you end up in life.
That's right. Sean, I want to send a quick shout out to Bobby. So, Mr. Bobby Jackson.
Hey,
Bobby
Bobby
held it
Jack,
down
what's
all
good?
week last week. All week last week.
Come on,
Yes,
come
sir.
on.
Quick shout out to
Hey,
Bobby.
hey, Bobby, we gonna bring you back in. We gonna bring you back in real quick. Friday, look for Mr. Bobby Jackson. Friday, Monday, look for Mr. Bobby Jackson. I'm just put it out there. Look for him. Look for him. Check for him. If you guys enjoyed what Bobby did for the past week, put it in the chat. Like, let me know. How did he do in your eyes? In your eyes, how did Mr. Bobby Jackson represent the brand? Was he present? Did you guys see him? Did you guys feel him? What did he do? Put it in the chat if Mr. Bobby put it in the chat if I should bring Bobby back. Say bring Bobby back. Say free Bobby.
And Bobby did a great job, Sean. Bobby did a phenomenal
Free
job.
Bobby. Yeah, I know he did.
Oh, yeah.
You know me. I'm always trying to big up everybody's brand and build everybody's brand. Put it in the chat. Bring Bobby back. Queen A on IG says he did great. Let's go. I thank you on behalf of Bobby Jackson. We're gonna bring him back.
All right, here we go.
Turned up the heat. Okay, he turned up the heat. Good stuff. Follow Bobby Jackson. Follow Bobby Jackson. He's a up and coming. He is up and coming, and he's not afraid to grab the mic. He showed you that for the last week. He's not afraid to grab the mic, guys. You can't be afraid to grab the mic. All you gotta do is show up. All you gotta do is show up and be in the program. Like, that's it. All you gotta do is show up and be in the program. We're gonna put you on stage. We're gonna put you on stage. That's the goal. The goal is not for me to stay on the stage my entire days. Like, that's not the goal. The goal is for me to become a stage, become a platform. We didn't build the $1 billion brand, the $1 billion breakfast with the brand for me to just be on here all the time. No, we put it up here for you. But you got to show up. And I don't mean show up in the crowd. You got to show up on the stage. Matter of fact, you got to show up backstage and let us train you on how to do this thing so we can bring you out on stage. If you're not in the backstage, we're not just going to bring you up on stage. I don't know if you can speak or not. I don't know. You just sitting there. You just watching. Like, you got to come backstage. Let us train you up. Let us show you how this thing goes so we know that we can trust you and we can rely on you to deliver phenomenally. That's the process that Bobby went through. Bobby didn't just show up. Bobby went through a process. And that's why he got the stage. You guys want the stage? Go through the process. It's real simple. It's a conveyor belt. Guaranteed
Right.
evidence-based.
Yes, sir. I just want to let me put this up now.
Hold on, let me say one more thing, Junior. So that's first class, guys. That's first class. Speaking like a leader is first class. I guarantee you, speaking like a leader is first class. It's the way to the stage. It's the way to get on the stage. If you're in the crowd, I don't know what you're going to do. You in the crowd. Matter of fact, that tells me one thing. The fact that you're in the crowd is like getting on the plane and walking to the back. I understand. That's a message. You're saying something. If you sit in first class, that says something too. I see you. I recognize, okay, let's go. See, I talk to the people. What you doing? What's business? What business? We have conversations in first class. I don't know what y'all talk about in the back. I don't know what you talk at home with your spouse about. But I know what we talk about in Branded Like a Leader. I know what we talk about in Speaking Like a Leader. I know what we talk about in the Leadership Leverage, Executive Coaching Community. I know what we talk about. And it's not about what went wrong and what's not working. And I guarantee you it's not about the price of eggs. It's about who's taking the stage. It's about who's making sales, who's getting deals, who's traveling the world, who's living their best life. And, whether you sit in the front or you sit in the back is completely up to you. But you got to make the investment to sit in the front. You got to make the investment. You want to get on the stage. You got to, take the appropriate steps.
100%. Guys, so before we sign off, I just want to turn your attention to the link down below. Of course, if you want to learn more about how you can take those first steps, how you could build your brand, increase your sales, increase your marketing, and everything else. Get into the business and the science of coaching. Tap in www.livedeepdive.com this Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be talking a little bit more about that. Of course, this is 100% free of charge, so please go ahead and invite one more person to attend along with you. Sean, any closing thoughts? Any closing thoughts before we sign out?
Close your closet and open your mouth. Close your closets. Everybody got a lot of skeletons in the closets. Close your closets, open your mouth. Make your investments, get on the stage. Simple. I don't have how do you say, a crossword puzzle for you. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. We gave you the link, we gave you the place, we'll give you the stage. We've done it before, we'll do it again. It's evidence based. The only question is, will you be there to receive it? I'm passing the mic all day. I'm passing the mic all day because it's not about me. As you will continue to see, the more you come to the Breakfast with the Brand, the more you come to the $1 billion brand, you'll see that it's not about me. It's about we, and I'm all about community and lifting people up and preparing people for the stage, not just the stage, not just the physical stage with the mic in their hand, but the life stage, the business stage, the government stage, the world stage. Come on, man. Y'all thinking small. Get out of your way and let's grow.